Hello, I am Nicholas Koech, Training Consultancy Group, and today I want us to have a candid discussion on the 5 ways ego is costing potential millionaires. 5 ways ego is costing potential millionaires. And let me begin by saying that financial prosperity and financial success is predictable, but at the same time, that financial bankruptcy and financial failure is predictable simply because there are rules and laws that governs the financial world. And once you obey the rules and laws that governs the financial world, you succeed as far as your economic life is concerned. But the moment you disobey the rules and laws that governs the financial world, then you really struggle and you really strain as far as your economic life is concerned. And number one, it is living in an expensive house rent. Let me begin by saying that you don't need to live in an expensive house. You only need to live in a habitable house. Even if it is means to changing your place of location, shifting from one place to the other so that you can get a cheaper house, then it is fine. And that is very much okay, because it is your own responsibility to work out on your economic life. It is your own responsibility to work out your own financial freedom. If you don't work out, then no one else will work out for you. Now, for instance, if you shift from a 25,000 house to a 15,000, then you will be in a position to save at least 10,000 on a monthly basis. 10,000 in 1 year, it will be roughly 120,000. In 10 years, it will be 1.2 million. And this is 1.2 million from your own savings. It is not 1.2 million from loans. It is 1.2 million from your own savings. And this 1.2 million, I can assure that you can be able to secure maybe a plot of land, or even a piece of land, or even you can start up a business, of which by you securing 1.2 million, I can assure that you'll be moving in the right trajectory as far as your financial and economic life is concerned. But in the real sense, this is what has costed so many people. They are not willing to live in a cheaper houses. They are only willing to live in expensive houses. That is why I can assure that they will continue to struggle as far as the economic life is concerned. But if you want to break the pattern, if you want to change the pattern, then shift from that expensive house and move on to a cheaper house and save the rest. Number two, it is taking car loans. I don't know why, if you have 1 million, you don't want to buy a car worth 1 million. You still want to borrow 2 million, borrow 3 million, and buy a car worth 3 million or even 4 million. So I would encourage that let us live within our means. Just lower your ego. Look for a car worth that 1 million. As long as that car can move you from point A to point B, it is still okay. Even if it means buying Toyota Mazda Demio, it is still okay. Nissan Note, Honda Fit, it is still okay. You don't need to prove to anybody that you are rich. You don't need to prove to anybody that you are wealthy. I always say this is the mistake that so many people are making in this country of ours, Kenya and Africa at large. So many people just want to look like they are rich, but in the real sense, they are not. They are not rich. So there's a difference between looking rich and being rich. There's a difference between looking wealthy and being wealthy. And if I were you, I would even prefer to work out on my economic and financial life and build up real riches in my life. I would prefer to work out on my wealthy life and build up real wealth as far as my financial and economic life is concerned, so that in the few 10 years, 15, 20 years to come, I shall say that truly indeed whatever I was building, it was worthy. Number three thing that is costing people, not that is costing potential millionaires, is not willing to start small. And as I've been a lot of research, I've realized all the great men and women that we have today, both in Kenya, in Africa, and in the world at large, all of them, they all attest that they started small. But the problem that we have, we are not willing to start small. We want to start big. And that one cannot happen. Even the law of accumulation and even the law of compounding interest does not back it up. So if we really want to really grow in our life and build up a steady economic life and experience financial freedom in our life, then we have to start small. And even in our own country, Kenya, we have got plenty examples of people who started small, but today they are great men and women in our country. Like, for instance, the founder of Maguna Supermarket. At a point, he was a hawker in his life. He started by hawking. He started a hawking business with 3,000 Kenya shillings. But today, he's running a big supermarkets. He's running big hotels in this country of ours. So he started small, but he never remained small. Our late Dr. Chris Kirubi, he started as a salesperson, but he never ended up as a salesperson. So he knew that I am starting small, but I am not remaining small. Like even the fifth president of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, he is today the fifth president of the Republic of Kenya. But he never started as the president of the Republic of Kenya. But he knew, even though I have started small, I am not going to remain small. It will be my responsibility to work out and make sure that I am listed among the great people in the Republic of Kenya, or even among the great people in my society. So the problem is not to start small. The problem is to remain small. And this is what has costed so many potential millionaires. We have said number one, it is living in expensive house rent. Number two, it is not willing to start small. And number three, it is taking car loans. And number four, it is faking a high profile life, faking a high profile life. This is by even borrowing cars. Some of them I've seen them borrowing maybe Land Cruiser V8 to go to a certain function just to showcase that they are driving big cars. But you don't need to do so. You will be really involving yourself in a lot of problems, because some of them you'll be even going to restaurants and even to clubs. You realize that they are leaving the bill for you, simply because you have showed them you have money. You have showed them you are driving big cars. You don't need to do so. They will be invited for harambes for nothing. And you realize that you'll be affecting your economic life instead of building your economic life. So at times you need to live a cool life, a simple life, and build up your financial life, build up your economic life, build up your ladder towards your financial freedom. And in the fullness of time, you'll actualize and you'll be more than willing to help the people that they wanted your help. Number five is involving yourself in impulse buying. Impulse buying. This is what has costed so many people. Let me say this, that if you buy things that you don't need, soon you'll sell things that you need. You don't need to buy everything on the street. You don't need to buy everything in supermarket. You only need to buy things that you need. And things that you don't need, just leave them. Because if you buy, I can assure you that very soon you'll sell things that you need them in the house. Simply because you never obeyed the law of not you never obeyed the law of humility, of buying things that you need. Just lower your ego and live within your means. So you have said, number one, it is living in an expensive house rent. Number two, it is taking car loans. Number three, it is not willing to start small. It is number four, living a high profile life, faking a high profile life. And number five, it is impulse buying. And let me end by saying that the only thing that differentiates the average people from the great people is what we call taking action. That is what has differentiated the average people and the great people. So if you want to have this informative and transformative coaching, kindly subscribe, like, share, and comment. It's been your friend and coach, Nicholas Koech. See you at the top.